Hi, I'm Terry Brock with TerryBrock.com. Have you noticed that a lot of companies are trying to go from good to great? They've heard the mantra, they've heard that you need to do that, but sometimes they don't always make it. Even those that have been shown to be great don't always stand out. Well, there's a way you can get around that, and my friend Scott McKain has put together a book that will help you. He calls it Create Distinction. Here it is. As I'm looking at it here on my book on my computer, I went out and bought this as an ebook on Amazon. Incredible book. I really recommend this, and here's why. I'm going to show you through, take you through some of this, let you see what's available as we look at it. This is a book that shows you how to create the distinction that you really need in what you do. And matter of fact, he starts over here. As I looked at some of the sections that I looked at, I thought were particularly good. Here on section 151, that's the way we do it in the ebook. It's section rather than a page or so. But section and location 151, can your customers tell the difference between you and your competition? Scott talks about the importance of creating a real distinction, and it's not just a matter of we have a lower price or we offer better service. Everybody says that. And Scott shows you a way that you can get in here and really make a difference. You see, he says being different, standing out, getting noticed in a sea of sameness is vital to an organization's sustained growth and profitability. The fact is, few organizations really change. Instead, they merely shuffle. Now, you could relate to this. Think about it. In the real world, that's the way they do it. They reorganize, add managers, subtract staff, outsource, relocate offices, put more people in the field, enhance support, blah, 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 all in the hope of engineering advantages they trust will distance them from the competition. Such activities, however, here's the important point, rarely create the elements necessary to inspire distinction. And you see, that's the key that you got to go through. Now, I went through this and took a whole bunch of notes on it as I went through, and you'll want to do the same thing, marking it up and really devouring. This is not just a book you sit down and just casually read. No, this is one you really want to study because it's going to make your company different and better. It's going to make your company distinct, stand out from the competition. And we're not talking about just going from a good to great, and great is really about you rather than about the customers. And that's what we've got to focus on. So a bunch of things in here. I mean, there was so much. I wish I had like 3 hours to show you all this. Let me show you a couple of things really, really important I found that were exceptionally good as I went through this. Reading this was just a joy and a delight for me. Now, he says here, don't get me wrong. This is on location 421. Don't get me wrong. Passion for your craft and significant knowledge of your industry is critical for any endeavor. However, and this is a brutal fact. Here we go. I love the way Scott does this. Having a passion for what you do does not mean that you have a successful business. Product knowledge and industry commitment is not enough. Something additional, something distinctive is required if you are to cinch a triumph. Scott is brutally honest on this. He's not pulling any punches. And oh, here, let me show you this next one up here on section or location 558. Here, when he went in and showed some of the things, you see, it's that great isn't just good enough anymore. It's how you look at your business and how customers see the difference, if any, between you and the competition. That is the key. You want to be able to differentiate yourself in a way that it stands out and you're really distinct. And he talks about his growing up in Indiana, in Caruthersville, where he was able to see 2 restaurants that competed with each other, and then in came this place called McDonald's. And one tried to be like McDonald's, the other one said, nah, we're going to be a little different. We're going to be distinct. And that's what they did. They went through and did it very well. Now, by the way, here's something else that he does at the end of each chapter. I love this. He has an executive summary where he goes through, summarizes what happens in it, and then after that, action steps, questions, and ideas. You know what that means to you? When you buy this book, you're going to be able to go back, read the book first, then go back and repeat by going through the action steps, the executive summary over and over. Real short, you could read it in a couple of minutes, and then you'll be able to read those and be able to get the essence of the book of what's going on. So this is not just a one time you're going to read it through and be able to get the ideas. You're going to be able to go through it and really distill the ideas and create that distinction. I really like the way he did. As a matter of fact, it kind of reminded me of the book Blue Ocean Strategy. You know, the one that says you got to be different and apart from it? That is really the essence of the message he gives. And Scott gives some really good ways to do it. I mean, there's so much here. Again, I wish I had about 3 years to go through this thing to show you. Let me bounce over here to a couple of pages, though, that I thought were particularly good, that really illustrate where to go and how this works. He says here, I'm emphasizing my point, is to drive home the assertion that ordinary, run-of-the-mill customer service does nothing to make you distinct, because everybody says that. A smile and a hello simply do not do the trick. A willingness to help, listening and understanding, taking responsibility to help were the 3 outstanding gripes consumer and business customers detailed. And he talks about this over and over and the importance of it there. But here's one that just blew me away. Up here, let me bounce through. I'm going through this really fast. If you're reading real fast, you can get this. Kind of like, Commander Data there in Star Trek. Going through this that way, you could do this. But up here, it's location 2483. I'm bouncing up here to this. There was so much in there that was good. 2483. If we take a look at this, he shows you how to craft your story. We all know the importance of stories. Well, Scott doesn't just say, use a story. I mean, that's nice, but he shows you how to do it. Act 1, introduce your story by revealing characters your audience will find engaging and interesting. Then he talks about how to do it right there. At Act 2, know that you have defined the conflict, describe the pursuit as an answer to the problem, and then over here, Act 3, we have now arrived at the conclusion of your story, a compelling Act 3 of your opportunity to become heroic. Now, you're going to have to go through and read this, but I'll tell you what, this is important not only for your company, but for you personally, to learn how to tell that story for your own career. I mean, it costs you a couple of coins for the book. Buy it, and then use this and internalize it. Make it part of you. I'm glad I went out and bought the book myself and did that. So he talks about that here real quickly. Another point he puts in here, it's location 2855 here, when he talks about you need to create the ultimate customer experience. This is what you do, and he shows specifically how to do it, how to make your customers just fall in love with you, because you're not just getting good to great, but instead you're getting the ultimate customer experience, and he shows how to do it. He shows people that are doing it right now and what you need. This is a book that you want to get out and buy. You can go over to Amazon right now, download the ebook, I like the ebook part, and get that. You can also get it in paperback. It is something that will help you to create distinction in your company and in your life. I highly recommend this. Create Distinction by Scott McKain. I'm Terry Brock. Thank you for joining me.